There's a certain kind of person who hears the phrase, "party this weekend," and instantly starts thinking of a polite way to decline. Not because they're sad, not because they're socially anxious, but because, quite simply, they prefer being alone. And it turns out psychologists have finally realized that society has misunderstood these people for a very long time. There's an important difference between feeling lonely and choosing to be alone. One is a form of pain. The other can actually be a strength. For decades, psychology placed everyone who enjoyed solitude into the same uneasy box: introverts, loners, antisocial types. Especially that last label, as if liking your own company meant you were one step away from becoming some kind of villain. Then research took an interesting turn. In 2016, psychologists at the University at Buffalo asked the question no one had seriously explored before. What if some people genuinely prefer solitude? Not because they fear others, not because something is wrong with them, but because being alone actually makes them feel better. They called this trait unsociability. Not unsocial, which involves hostility toward others, not avoidance, which is driven by fear, but unsociability, a calm, self-assured preference for spending time alone. And when researchers examined these individuals, the results were surprising. They weren't struggling at all. In fact, they were thriving. So what's really happening inside the brain of someone who truly enjoys solitude? For starters, their dopamine system functions differently. Extroverts tend to get large dopamine spikes from social interaction, laughter, shared energy, and group excitement. People who prefer solitude often have a more sensitive dopamine system. They reach their ideal level of stimulation much faster. Think of it like spice tolerance. An extrovert needs an entire chili pepper to feel anything. Someone who loves being alone just needs a tiny sprinkle and they're fully satisfied. And it gets even more interesting when you look at the brain itself. Their prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for deep thought, self-reflection, and complex problem-solving, becomes especially active during alone time. They aren't just sitting quietly doing nothing. Their minds are busy with creativity, analysis, and internal exploration. Research on creativity consistently shows that major insights rarely appear in loud brainstorming sessions or crowded cafes. They tend to arrive during solitary moments, long walks, late nights, quiet showers. Einstein produced much of his greatest work alone. So did Newton. Virginia Woolf famously wrote an essay titled "A Room of One's Own" about the necessity of solitude. Maya Angelou even rented hotel rooms just so she could write in peace, despite owning a perfectly comfortable home. That's not coincidence. Before you start labeling yourself, though, let's pause for a moment. There's a critical distinction to make. Are you choosing solitude, or are you hiding inside it? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Some people don't embrace being alone. They use it as protection, a shield against rejection, judgment, or the vulnerability that comes with connection. Psychologist Abraham Maslow addressed this directly. He believed healthy solitude comes from abundance, not lack. You enjoy being alone because you've experienced meaningful relationships and know you can experience them again. You're not running away from people, you're moving toward yourself. The real question isn't whether you like being alone, it's why. If your answer includes words like recharge, create, think, or process, you're likely in a healthy zone of unsociability. If your answer sounds more like safer, easier, or less painful, that might be something worth gently exploring, not because it's wrong or broken, but because it deserves awareness and maybe an honest conversation with someone you trust. Now, let's return to those who truly flourish in solitude, because they've discovered something many people are still learning. Being alone does not mean being incomplete. We constantly talk about relationships as if another person is meant to finish us. My other half, my better half, you complete me. As if humans are broken pieces searching for a matching part. People who enjoy solitude reject that idea. They say, "I'm already whole." And this isn't arrogance, it's self-knowledge. Research by Dr. Bella DePaulo at UC Santa Barbara shows that single individuals who embrace solitude often maintain stronger relationships with friends, family, and their communities than people in romantic partnerships. Why? Because they're not trying to satisfy every emotional need through one person. They're not clinging, they're choosing. They understand something essential. The quality of your time alone shapes the quality of your time with others. When solitude restores you, you show up more present, more patient, and more grounded in relationships. You're not exhausted, you're not resentful, you're not searching for someone to fill a void. You bring your full self because you've already spent time with yourself first. That's powerful. Here's something that might surprise you. In Japan, there's a word for this concept, hitori, meaning time spent alone. And it isn't just accepted, it's respected. There are restaurants designed specifically for solo diners, movie theaters with individual seating, cultural practices that normalize existing comfortably with yourself. There are even solo karaoke booths. Singing alone in a soundproof room is considered a perfectly normal activity. Meanwhile, in many Western cultures, eating alone still raises eyebrows, as if it's something to explain or apologize for. So what does all this mean for you? If you genuinely enjoy being alone, consider this your permission. You're not strange, you're not broken. Your brain is wired to recover and reset through solitude. And that's not just acceptable, it's valuable. The world needs people who can sit with themselves, think deeply, and function without constant stimulation. People who understand the difference between healthy connection and emotional dependence. In an era where everyone is expected to be constantly available, enjoying your own company may be one of the most unconventional skills you can have. Just be sure you're not confusing preference with self-protection. Ask yourself honestly, can you connect when you want to? Do you have people you trust? Are you moving toward solitude or running away from connection? The healthiest relationship with being alone is one where it's a choice, not a defense. The next time someone asks you why you're always alone, why you canceled plans, or why you'd rather stay home with a book than attend a party, you have options. You can explain dopamine sensitivity, prefrontal cortex activity, Japanese cultural norms, and the research showing that solitude isn't social failure. Or you can simply smile and say, because I like myself. That usually ends the discussion. And honestly, that's the point. If this video helped you understand habits you've never been able to explain before, don't scroll away. The videos on screen dive deeper into how your brain handles stimulation and why certain routines feel essential to you. They aren't random. They answer the questions this video likely just raised. I'll see you there.